I'm always putting my foot in my mouth. I don't stop to think. I just, oh no, words are coming out. Oh no. I'm not thinking, what is that? Like I met this woman recently. I could have sworn she was pregnant. Let me tell you. Hey, I know now. I think the rule is don't guess at that ever. Something like that. I didn't have enough evers memorized, So I said, hey, when's that baby due? You ever feel a word coming up, but it's too late to stop it? And, it's coming out and loud. Hey, when's that baby due? Baby! What baby? At the zoo, the pandas. I knew they were trying to have one. I just, thought we'd talk about them. Talk about the fluffy zoo animals that I hear they got them over there. You can go look at them and if you want, touch them. Have you ever guessed somebody's gender wrong? There's no recovering from that. You just got to move on because you ain't wriggling out of nothing, Hey, excuse me, sir? Ma'am. Okay. Okay, bye. Bye, human. Bye, person. Nice to meet you, individual.
Comes this time each year. Well, way up north where the air gets cold, there's a tale about Christmas that you've all been told. And a real famous cat all dressed up in red, and he spends the whole year working out in his sled. It's the little Saint Nick. It's the little Saint Nick. Just a little bobsled we call little Saint Nick, but she'll walk a toboggan with a 4-speed stick. She's candy apple red with a ski for a wheel, and when Santa hits the gas, man, just watch her peel. It's the little Saint Nick. It's the little Saint Nick. Run, run, reindeer. Run, run, reindeer. Run, run, reindeer. Run, run, reindeer. You don't miss no one. And hauling through the snow at a frightening speed with a half a dozen deer with the Rudy to lead. He's gotta wear his goggles 'cause the snow really flies, and he's cruising every path with a little surprise. It's the little Saint Nick. It's the little Saint Nick. Merry Christmas. Christmas comes this time each year. Merry Christmas. Christmas comes this time each year. Merry Christmas. Christmas comes this time each year.
And the place for me is a local public library. They have books and things that they lend for free. It's the latest, it's the greatest, it's the library. Today's public library is more than books.
And if you haven't been there lately, you're missing plenty. Read, listen, look, take part, learn, grow, enjoy yourself
At your public library. Educational, informational, entertainment that's sensational. It's a way of life, it's for you and me. It's the latest, it's the greatest, it's the library. It's the latest, it's the greatest, it's the library. Your public library.
Library. How many kids say library? Where do they get library from? There's an R in there. It's like February. It's not February. It's February.
Some adults say it too.
Oh, tell me about it. And I'm just about to correct them when I say, don't do it. Because it's automatic for me to say, it's February. That's fine. It's February. You're right. Absolutely, you're right. Shay King is here. Shay King is the head of marketing and business development subcategory for the Racine Public Library. See, it sounds so natural to say library. And I thank you for coming on again. Folks from the library come here every month, and we love talking to you guys.
It's great to be back. Thanks for having me.
It's such a resource that a lot of people don't use. I can go to people in my neighborhood and say, "You've been to the library? Where is it? Where is it?" You can't miss it. It's right there. I live not far from it. But a lot of people don't even have a library card. How could you not have a library card?
I actually signed someone up for their first library card just a couple weeks ago.
See, when I was a kid, the library card was paper, like a little hard. It wasn't cardboard, but it was between cardboard and paper. And, with kids, those things don't last very long.
No.
They get wrinkled. You put them in a little ball in your pocket. But they used to do it differently back then. They took a picture when you took a book out of the library. You got 3 things they took a picture of: your card, the actual book card, and the date to return card.
Oh, so every time you checked it out?
It was on film. Yes.
Oh.
Every time they took a picture of it, the little flash went off.
That is very detailed.
Well, that's before computers. So you didn't have a choice. I mean, this is how you had to keep track of, delinquents like me who didn't return stuff. And they checked the film all the time, and they wrote down, who's, what's due tomorrow, but they always had to check the film. It's like when you're doing a football game. Just check the film. And that's the way they used to do it back then. I mean, it sounds ludicrous by today's standards, but...
Yeah, before RFID tags.
Now, you got something new at the library.
Yes.
And I was staring at the guy I was checking out some stuff, and I said, "Aren't you going to, scan it with a wand?" He said, "No, I don't need to. Just put it on this, like a platform.
Oh, yeah.
Just put it on this thing, and it does it automatically."
I love those things. You can put a whole stack of books.
That's what he did. He took a whole stack of CDs. Here they are. He took a whole stack... There they are. He took a whole stack of CDs and he put them on there. He said, "Done." I said, "That's it?"
Technology is amazing.
It's better than taking a picture of everything on film. And you can hear the film in the thing going, as it moves to as it keeps moving around. But that was my library. And I should bring next time you're in here? I still have Bye Bye Birdie from 1968. And I have, they didn't give you a card with the newspaper. I have Variety newspapers. They used to stamp it right on the newspaper because there was no way to put the card. It was,
that would drive me crazy.
Yeah, well, that's why a lot of librarians were in South Oaks on Long Island. They went crazy. They were all straitjackets. I can't do it anymore. But I still have the card, the date card, in the album for Bye Bye Birdie.
Ooh.
Yeah,
that's a relic. You should keep it.
Well, it's funny because years ago, maybe about 25, 30 years ago, I called them up and I said, I found it when I was unpacking a box. And they said, "No, our albums, we don't do records anymore." Well, now they do records again.
They do.
And I wonder if they want it back. I mean, you can't buy Bye Bye Birdie on records anymore.
Yeah,
you can't buy Bye Bye Birdie. You can't buy Bye Bye Birdie. Make sure I got that right. You can't buy Bye Bye Birdie. And my brother has 2 books out, one from 1958 called The Giant, and one from 1963, the Roger Maris story when he played for the Yankees. They didn't have, bookmen like Mr. Bookman from Seinfeld, the detective, to go out. They sent you a notice, and if you didn't return it, that was it. And it's not like today where they can scan your card and look at a screen. "Oh, I see you've got Bye Bye Birdie on, Mr. Rosen. It's been 60 years." They can play. It wasn't. They would have to check the film. So when you went out to take something new, they couldn't see that you had stuff out already.
Unless they pulled up the record.
Mr. Rosen, I want you to step into our theater over here. We have a film we want to show you right now. We'll give you some popcorn. You can watch it. It's your history of not returning stuff. Let's take a look, Mr. Rosen. That's basically the way my library was. I remember when they instituted the bookmobile when I was a kid. I thought, the library's coming to my... It didn't come to my street. It came to the elementary school where they parked outside there. And I said, "Wow, this is the library." I had a library in the school, but this one's out in the, you get to wear your jacket and everything inside.
I love going on those things. Like, as a kid, that was such an exciting thing to go to the grocery store or wherever you're headed and to see the bookmobile parked right there.
But I always wondered, how did they know what books I wanted when I went in there? Did they read my mind? How did they select the books for the bookmobile? You know?
So there's actually a separate collection just for bookmobile books. Not that we won't take books from the main section of the library, especially if we have a request, but there's a whole room in the back of the library that is just the books we put on the bookmobile. So it's, the most popular books. There'll be a selection of DVDs.
You have DVDs in there too?
Yes, I think so, yeah.
All right.
It tends to be a lot of just a lot of general fiction, and then a lot of DVDs are the most two common things that people check out, actually.
Well, when they opened up another branch of my library, they had two branches. The original one from the 50s, early 50s, and they had another one by the shopping center. And I said, well, are you taking half the books from this library and putting them in there? And they said, well, we're taking some of them from here. And I could ride my bicycle to the library, one of them, and it took about a half hour to ride your bike there. It wasn't that close.
Not bad.
But the other one, I had to take the bus because of it. And so if I wanted a particular book for school to cheat on a book report, now I had to take the bus to go get it because the library was on the other side of town. I went a few times to the New York Library, the Manhattan Library, not the New York Public Library. There's two libraries in New York. There's the Manhattan Library and there's the New York Public Library. The New York Public Library is like a city. It's got different zip codes inside there. But the Manhattan Library is where I like because they had the microfilm for the newspapers I wanted. So I went there, and it's even though it's the second library, it's huge. I mean, I'd never seen anything. And the New York Public Library is, you need to have a tour guide going through that place.
I guess they built the first one and decided they needed a bigger one.
They have other branches, but those are the two main ones in Manhattan. The Manhattan Library is on 42nd Street in Lexington, I think, somewhere around there. I'm going to think, Lexington and 42nd, I don't remember where exactly it was. The New York Public Library is uptown a little bit. But let's talk about some library closures, first of all, because people say, I think I'm going to go to the bookmobile today. No, you're not.
You sure aren't.
Yeah, well, you can go to it. It's locked. I mean, you can go to it. You don't take the books out of there
That's a really good question. I think what happens is that the bookmobile staff will cycle some of them out every time the bookmobile gets ready to go out. But I think there's still books on board there almost any time.
That's a schlep to take those things out every time. Who's got that job? All right, the bookmobile is going to be closed. It's closed, what is today? It's closed now through January 2th. January 2nd.
That's right.
And so after that, the bookmobile... Santa's using the bookmobile, children. He needs it to deliver books and toys. So
that's right.
He's using that bookmobile, so they have to give it up through January 2nd.
It's full of presents right now. They took all the books off, actually.
Yeah, okay. We're talking to Shay King. She is the head of marketing business development for the Racine Public Library. More coming up in just a moment at WRJ. And I didn't give you the weather yet. Cloudy today with a high near 43 degrees. Is it ever going to get cold? Chance of rain tonight. Lows 39. Rain likely tomorrow. Highs 45. Right now clear and 37 degrees at WRJN. Hometown Radio. Refreshed.
Boom, 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 boom.
Santa baby, just slip a sable under the tree for me. Been an awful good girl, Santa baby, so hurry down the chimney tonight. Santa baby, a 54 convertible to light blue. I'll wait up for you, dear Santa baby, so hurry down the chimney tonight. Think of all the fun I've missed. Think of all the fellas that I haven't kissed. Next year I could be just as good if you check off my Christmas list. Santa baby, I want a yacht, and really that's not.
So that's Eartha Kitt doing Santa Baby. The following year, this was a big smash hit, Santa Baby. She decided, I'm going to do it different. This year's Santa Baby, same music with different lyrics. the song flopped. Nobody wanted to play it. It was the same song, just different lyrics. I mean, so they played.
Don't mess with a good thing.
Yeah, well, how many Christmas songs does Eartha Kitt have? I always said if you're going to do one song in your entire life, write one song, make it a Christmas song, because people play it every single year forever. Do you know what the first #1 Christmas song was ever on the Billboard Hot 100 chart?
What's that?
The Chipmunk song, Alvin
No.
and the Chipmunks. Yeah, that was the first one ever to hit #1. And I can tell you, my mother bought us that song. My brother and I. My dad. It was right a few days before Christmas. It was nasty weather outside, and my brother and I. You know, it wasn't like today where there's a million things to do. It was TV or play with some toy that's a relic today.
Right.
And so my mother, she said, I'll be right back. She drove in the snow to Bohack Supermarket because in the basement was Jim's Bargain Basement where he had 45 RPM records. And in 1958, she went downstairs, bought us for 39 cents the Chipmunk song.
And she hasn't known peace ever since.
And she brought it back because we were so down because my father wasn't home yet. It was snowing.
Oh.
And she put it on and we all had fun playing it over and over. And do you know, up until a year ago, last summer actually, I threw it in the garbage. I took all my 45 RP. I was cleaning out the house and I said, I'll just get rid of them all. And it was in there from 1958, the one my mother bought. It was a black label.
Man.
It was Liberty Records. I remember the record label, Black Liberty Records label, Alvin and the Chipmunks. And you know what? We cheered up. And my father came home and we're all laughing. Now keep in mind, I was like, 4 years old. I said, Daddy, look, it's Alvin and the Chipmunks. And that was the first #1 song. See, you're leaving. You think you come in here and you're going to teach me. I'm teaching you.
I'm here to get schooled.
I'm teaching you what to do. You found out about Eartha Kitt's flop. You found out about Alvin and the Chipmunks. It just gets better and better. Okay, let's talk about some of the things here. So the bookmobile is going to be closed. Let's get the closures done. Then the library is going to be closed Christmas Day, the day after Christmas, January 1st and January 2nd. One of those. The
That's right.
26th and January 2nd are recovery days. What are they?
So usually when we have a holiday, like Christmas Eve falls on the weekend, so then everybody gets a day off on a weekday instead. But then the next weekday is Christmas, so we get Tuesday.
You know what days we get off in radio? None.
You're going to be on air every day next week, aren't you?
This is the first time I finagled Christmas Day and New Year's Day off. We have a best of.
Oh, good for you. Get a break.
Finagle that. But then you got to finagle a show that's what we call an ever ready, where it's not dated. But that's good. Okay, and Monday, January 15th, is that Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Day?
That's right.
When my wife and I went to Memphis, we were doing one of our road trips, and we went to the Lorraine Motel. You know what that is?
No.
The Lorraine Motel is where Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. was assassinated. He was on the balcony of the Lorraine Motel, and that famous picture of him laying on the balcony with the men who were with him pointing to where the gunshot came from. So I went there, and I was standing on that spot, and I said,
Oh, no.
World history changed right where I'm standing, because this is where he laid when he died, right here on this spot. This is where those guys were pointing off to where the James Earl Ray shot the rifle from.
That's crazy that the motel is still there.
Well, it's not a motel anymore. It's a shrine now.
Okay, yeah.
That
makes more
sense. It's a memorial. It's meant, and right across the street is the Civil Rights Museum, and that's where the gunshot came from. Now you can go.
It wasn't a Civil Rights Museum at the time, I imagine.
No, it was just. I think it was a warehouse building, but you can go in that building and stand in the room where that gunshot came from.
Shoot.
They have the rifle there on display of everything. It's you got to go there. It takes hours to go through these places.
Yeah.
But to stand there on the Lorraine Motel and you look in his room and they put it exactly as it was the day he was assassinated. Man. Everything's exactly the same. Now they're all new things. And the sandwich isn't real anymore. But just to stand on that spot. I don't know. Why are we talking about this? Anyway, my memories of growing up. Oh, January 15th. That's what we talked about. That's right. Okay, I'm going to something tonight. I should be going tonight. Depending how tired I am. Brie to Disagree.
Oh, yeah. That's one of the favorites.
Yeah, we go. I'm going to go tonight. And why don't you tell what that is?
So Abri to Disagree is like a book club, but not just books. There's no reading assignment or listening assignment. You just come in, you enjoy the cheese that we put out. That's why it's called Abri to Disagree.
And it's not always brie, by the way.
That's correct. Yeah. It'll be goat cheese. It'll be cheese with like cranberries in it. It'll be a different cheese every month.
Cheddar to dis-a-cheddar. Okay, go ahead.
So you come in and you just chat with the other attendees of the program about whatever you've been watching or listening to or reading lately. And maybe you'll walk away with some new recommendations for media to try.
You know, and I had we didn't go to the last one because I was so exhausted.
I bet.
And yeah, we just didn't go. It was raining or something was going crazy. Anyway, so, but you meet new people and you have conversations with them, and it's nothing heavy. I mean, it's like, hey, did you see the concert? Hey, did you see that movie? Hey, did you see that TV show? Did you read that book? You know, I have to bring a book into it because it's a library. But anyway, and to find the room, it's right through the children's library.
That's right.
There's a secret handshake. There's a secret knock. A little handle comes down. You pull that. A secret door opens up, and you're in. It's not that difficult to find. Also, my wife she wants me to ask you something.
Okay.
I wrote it down.
Yes.
I forgot where
Yes, I do take autographs.
Yes,
Thanks for asking.
that's what she wanted. It was the Battle of the Books.
Oh yeah.
She wanted to know if you can go there and just watch the Battle of the Books.
Ooh, that's a really good question, actually.
It's not a no. It's not
a no. I think that there are spectators. I don't know about our library, but when I did Battle of the Books as a kid, you could just come in and observe. But there were rules. You had to make sure that you weren't writing anything down or doing anything that made it look like you were signaling the attendees the answers.
You're telling me people cheat at that?
They do.
Do you know, at the Spelling Bee, which was the National Spelling Bee from Scripps Howard, there were parents in the audience mouthing the letters to the word. They're filming it all because they got to catch these parents.
Oh no!
And one kid who did well said, "I didn't see it. I really didn't." The parent got you knocked out. You got a dopey mother who was doing that. Hold on, Shay King is here from the Racine Public Library at 629 at WRJN, Civic Media Radio, hometown radio, refreshed. Stay right where you are.
Here comes Santa Claus, right down Santa Claus Lane. Vixen and Blixen and all his reindeers pulling on the reins. Bells are ringing, children singing, all is merry and bright. So hang your stockings and say your prayers, 'cause Santa Claus comes tonight. Here comes Santa Claus, right down Santa Claus Lane. He's got a bag that's filled with toys for boys and girls again. Hear those sleigh bells jingle, jangle, oh, what a beautiful sight. So jump in bed and cover your head, 'cause Santa Claus comes tonight.
Shay King is here. She's the head of marketing and business development for your Racine Public Library. And I say your Racine Public Library, like when I do the concerts for the Racine Concert Band, since it's tax dollars involved, I say your Racine Concert Band.
That's right.
You know, it's your letter carrier. It's your sanitation collector. It's your street sweeper. Because we own them.
That's true.
We taxpayers. So this is Gene Autry. And you said you're not familiar with Gene Autry.
No, just the song.
Okay, well, Gene Autry was a singing cowboy in the movies, in the early movies when they first learned to sound. He had all these cowboy movies where he'd sing songs, Melody Ranch, all these type of movies. Became a very wealthy man. He lived out in California, bought a lot of real estate, became very wealthy. He eventually owned the California Angels Major League Baseball team.
Oh.
He was the owner for years of the California Angels. He also...
I'm all right. That's my blood sugar going off again.
All over Gene Autry. So Gene Autry went on to own a ton of radio and TV stations, Golden West broadcasters, they called it. So he was a big owner of TV and radio out on the West Coast and the Pacific Northwest. And from what I hear, one of the nicest people. So this song, Here Comes Santa Claus, He was always in the Santa Claus Lane Parade in Hollywood. I used to watch it on TV all the time. They used to run it every year on delay. They used to run it like a week after it was. And it was all the big movie stars were in the convertibles and going down Santa Claus Lane. So he was one of the stars. The guy on the California Angels.
Yeah.
So he was one of the stars, and he would ride in the open convertible, and behind him was the Santa Claus float. And when he went by, all the kids were yelling, "Here comes Santa Claus! Here comes Santa Claus!" Right down Santa Claus Lane.
Beautiful.
And that's where the song came from. He said they wouldn't even say, "Here comes Gene Autry." It was, "Here comes Santa Claus," because he's right behind him. They could see Santa Claus. And so he sang the song, "Here comes Santa Claus," right down Santa Claus Lane.
That's good.
See, I should charge you for this education. You're getting it free.
Honestly.
Let's get back to our Racine Public Library here. Tween Crafts with K.
That's right.
Is K a person?
Yeah.
Okay.
Her name's Keontae,
Okay.
but for the program, we call her K for short. So that is tonight, 4:30 p.m. to 6 p.m. in the community room upstairs. That's one of the new rooms that are renovation built. It's for tweens, so ages 9 to 12 for the purposes of this program. You do need to register, which you can do at racinelibrary.info/calendar. But the craft program is super fun, super cool. Keontae's got an awesome personality, works really well with the kids, and tonight she's going to be teaching them how to make personalized stencil bags.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
Great for Christmas gift giving.
Exactly. There you go.
A nice and expensive
Or gift carrying.
Oh, what?
Or gift carrying.
Oh, gift carrying. That's right. I don't think I'm going to have that many gifts to carry. Spanish and English citizenship classes. Now, this is important because, a lot of immigrants come into the country, and you have to take it, if you're born here, you don't have to take a test.
Mm-hmm.
I would love to see how many natural-born citizens in this country would fail that test.
I'd probably fail it. I'm terrible with history.
I mean, some of the questions, I've seen, we went on the air years ago, I read the questions. They're not difficult, but I don't think a lot of people will be able to pass the citizenship test in this country. But you would have to take the course.
That's right.
And so this is given when now?
So we actually did just have our last class of the year last night.
Yeah, look at that.
I know, but that is going to be starting up again next year.
Okay.
So it's going to end up being on Wednesdays still. So next year we're moving to just doing the English courses. Unfortunately, we are discontinuing the classes where we help people learn to take the Spanish-speaking version of the course. But come back in the new year if you're getting ready to take your citizenship exam class, and the hosts, Voces de la Frontera, will help you learn everything you need to know. You can come in as many classes as you want to, and just do whatever you need to do to feel confident to take the exam.
That's great. I didn't know that was even offered. The chess club. I play chess, but I'm the person who doesn't. I just all right, move. All right, move. All right, move. And then the person who's I'm playing against, come on, move already. But there's a method to playing. I like when they say, well, I'm going to make the move that Casper made in 1968. He made this move. Just make the move.
Have you watched The Queen's Gambit?
No.
It is a TV show on Netflix all about a woman who becomes the best chess player in the world. She's got a knack for it. Nobody can beat her. And I learned a lot about chess. There are just hundreds and hundreds of specific setups and moves and people to study and things to know, which tells me why I was so bad at it. I lost every single game I played when I joined my library's chess club back home as a kid. But maybe you'll do better.
Do you ever see these people that play multiple games at one time?
Yep.
They have like 6 games lined up. And the players on the other side are each playing one game, but this person's going down the line making moves in 6 different. How do you do that?
Right. I wish that my brain had that many tracks for chess. It doesn't even seem to have one track for chess, though, unfortunately.
I just wish my brain worked it some hours of the day. So the chess club is when? It's on the 27th.
On the 27th.
2 to 4 p.m. At 4:30 to 6:30.
Wait, nope, we had it right. 5 to 7.
Oh, it's afterwards. I'm looking at the wrong thing here. Okay, it's after that. Okay, 5 to 7. Do you have to register before? How does that work?
You can register. It's helpful because it'll give us a sense of how many boards to put out if we know how many people are coming.
Yeah.
But you can also just show up. So that's going to be 5 to 7, Wednesday, December 27th in the community room again. And that's for all ages. So when you arrive, just settle in, get started with the match with whoever's there. Our facilitator, Jeff Garcia, usually hosts. He'll be out of town this particular evening, so it'll just be the players. But come on in and meet some new folks and try your hand at a game.
Now, see, the rooks move in an L shape. 1, 1, 2.
That's the Knights. I know that much.
The Knights. I'm wrong. The Knights, the horsies, they move in an L shape.
Yeah.
The rooks move straight.
Yes.
And they move straight up and straight to the side. The bishops move at the angles. Mm-hmm. They move diagonally across the board. The king and the queen can move any direction.
That's right. And if you succeed at getting a pawn to the other side of the board, you can choose a piece to turn it into. Just not the king.
Like magic.
I know.
Okay. All right. Services and activities always available at the library. This is something I'm not familiar with, a supply swap.
It's new. We just launched it.
That's why I'm fully familiar with it. Okay, go ahead.
So the supply swap is an initiative that we started after seeing the interest that we had gotten in the Stitch and Bitch, because a lot of folks will come in with just oodles of craft supplies, like very seasoned knitters and crocheters have just hordes, respectfully, of yarn and knitting needles, crochet hooks that they need somewhere to give it that somebody's going to make use out of it. So we started the supply swap. It is currently a little blue cart in our Beyond Books collection on the second floor. And this is where you can come browse all of the supplies that our club members have donated and pick out a ball of yarn, grab some crochet hooks, and try your hand at the craft, or pick something you need for a project without needing to make a trip to the store, without needing to buy an entire ball of yarn that you might not use all of.
It's a supply swap. You bring your supplies in, you swap them out.
Yep, and then whenever you have supplies that you're not going to use, pay it forward and bring them in.
Well, there you go. There's a service I never thought of before. Coming to get warm, study, use the internet or a computer, use a game, ask at the big circle desk at the second floor. Coloring page what's a coloring page? Like crayons?
Yeah, we have actually crayons and markers that you can use in the library. Just ask for them at the big circle desk on the second floor, and you can sit at a table with a free coloring sheet if you need something to do, and
you know what?
art.
It's the latest, it's the greatest, it's the library.
That's right.
Who knew this stuff even went on? Now, these are new to me. I never knew they went on. I go in there, I know exactly where I'm going. I'm focused. I'm headed off to DVDs, CDs, microfilm. I'm very focused. I don't look around and say, I wonder what I can do today.
See, and this is why I love telling people about all the little Easter eggs we offer, basically, because for a lot of people, the library is the place they come to get books or try something new, or they'll go to a program. But where at the time of year programming is quiet, we still want you to think of the library as a place you can just come and hang out. Like, you can study in a study room, you can meet up with some friends and drink a coffee in our food allowed areas. You can get a coloring sheet. You can also ask at the big circle desk for a board game that you can play with somebody to use in the building. We have games for checkout on the Beyond Books collection, and then we have games just for use in the library at the big circle desk on the second floor.
And they have a sauna, an indoor pool. But you do have that beautiful view of Lake Michigan where you can sit on a nice, comfortable chair, grab a book, or just stare out the window. It is so beautiful to watch.
When I get there early, that's where I like to go.
Oh, good. Now we know what you're doing. we finally found you out. Also, this is coming now, new programs in 2024. This is stuff we never heard of before. The Reading Challenge.
Yeah, so reading challenges themselves are not new, but we have a couple of new ones that we're doing next year. So we have both the Pride 365 Reading Challenge and the Where We Come From Winter Reading Challenge. So the Winter Reading Challenge, that is January 1st through January 31st. I think I'm mumbling my words. Hold on. January 1st through January 31st.
Finish that 3-gallon coffee you brought with you.
Oh, man. I need a little bit more of that. The entire month of January. And then the Pride 365 Reading Challenge is the entire year, so January 1st through December 31st.
I wish I was a kid again.
Right. Well, you can join them. They're all ages.
Yeah. Who's that old man coming in there? What is he doing here?
And these are...
Go play with your own age people.
These are they're very self-directed programs, so you don't actually need to show up at the library, though you can come in and talk to the librarians about them, ask questions, get some help. But the gist is you will go to racinelibrary.beanstack.com. That's our reading challenge platform. And if you have an account, which all you need to do is use your library card and number and PIN to get started, then you can go look through all the challenges we have available. And whichever one you sign up for, it'll have a specific reading list. You can read any of the books on the list to get points that you'll earn badges for. And there's also activities themed after the challenge that you can participate in that also give you points and badges. Sometimes there's prizes, but usually you'll see more of the prizes are over the summer for the summer reading program. Around this time of year, it's just a nice incentive, encouragement to get folks reading more.
STEAM programs. Now, I it's an acronym, STEAM. I forgot what it stood for, but
it's science, technology, engineering, arts, and math.
And you have some new ones for 2024. I can't believe
right.
you're saying 2024.
I know, 2024. I'm going to accidentally say 2023, so catch me if I do. But so we have a new batch of staff actually in the Innovation Lab who are interested in some of the more advanced computing, advanced programming. So the Innovation Lab is always a place just to come in, tinker with toys, and learn the very basics of how to use a computer or STEAM skills. But I really want to tell you about some of the new, more unique programs that we've started to offer, or will start to offer next year. So we have Getting Started with Linux. Do you know what Linux is?
It's a computer, I'm going to say platform, but it's like Windows, but it's Linux.
Exactly. So there's Windows, there's Mac, and then there's also Linux. Computer nerds love Linux. I had a guy in college who was always trying to convince me that I just needed to set up Linux on my computer and then my life was going to be golden.
You're not still using Windows and Mac, are you? Do you know where they invented the wheel?
And one of the perks of Linux is that a lot of people say it'll help an older machine that's hard to use these days if it still runs Windows, but it's kind of laggy. You can set up Linux on it. It takes a little bit of basic know-how, but our computer experts will walk you through that. And it's on January 3rd, noon to 1st. Bring whatever machine you want to set Linux up on. It has to be a computer.
Oh, you bring your old...
Yeah, bring your old computer in. So a laptop,
a
computer, it can be Mac, it can be Windows. It just can't be a tablet or a phone. We'll set up Linux for you and teach you the basics of how to use it.
WRJN Radio. We're with Shay King this morning, business development and head of marketing at the Racine Public Library. Cloudy today with a high near 43. Chance of rain tonight. Lows 39. Rain likely tomorrow with a high near 40. It's 6:52 at WRJN Radio, Hometown Radio Refresh. Shay King is here, head of marketing for the Racine Public Library. Let's talk about a couple of new things you got coming in 2024. The food share benefit sign up. What is that?
So, food share. You know what food share is?
No.
So that's food stamps now, or it was food stamps.
Oh,
and
that's
now
what
it's
they
called
call it
food
now?
share.
Food share?
Yes.
Okay.
So the Feeding America through Food Share open hours that we have starting in January are going to begin on Saturday, January 6th, 10:30 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. And it's going to be the first Saturday of every month. And that's a time to come in with any questions you have, or even just to get help signing up for food share. Feeding America Eastern Wisconsin and the Wisconsin Department of Health Services are going to be there to help walk you through the process, answer any questions you need, and make the process a little bit easier for you.
Well, that's a nice thing.
Yeah.
This is all at the public library. And I can't pronounce that word, but it's storytelling with the Wisconsin Historical Society. What's that first word?
Yeah, I actually don't know how to pronounce it either. I hope I'm not mangling it, but Ojibwe storytelling. That's one of the Native American nations. So Ojibwe storytelling with Wisconsin Historical Society. That's going to be Tuesday, January 9th, 7 to 8 p.m. and every Tuesday through the rest of January. Now, that's in youth services on the first floor. It's for all ages. You don't need to register. And this is a program all about the Ojibwe culture of storytelling. Winter is the season of storytelling. So the Wisconsin Historical Society is hosting. They're going to be featuring Ojibwe storytellers in this 4-part airing of their video series dedicated to the entire culture. So discussion will follow the video if time allows. Each session is going to be a little bit different, so see if you can make it into all 4.
I remember once my wife and I went to, somebody was telling something, I want to say it was haunted stories of Wisconsin. And she was
I remember that one.
And I was fascinated listening to this woman up there tell these stories. And, people kind of said, shh, he's talking, shh, getting to the good part. There were so many things going on. Everybody thinks the library, I don't need any books today. You don't need to get books. They have them there. They don't worry about the books. But there's so many services and programs and people really working hard. Mm-hmm. And they're all free.
They're all free.
There's nothing. I can't wait. I'm going to stay awake tonight. I go to bed like 6:30, 7 o'clock. Because my alarm goes off at 4:30. I try to get up before the alarm goes off. But I'm going to go to Breathe to Disagree tonight. And
we'll be happy to have you.
Yeah, it's really fun. And the 2 people who run it are very nice people. Mm-hmm. I don't know their names. It's a young couple, and I forget their names because they told me, and I forgot.
Margaret Russell is one of them, if I remember correctly.
I forget the guy's name, though.
I don't know the guy's name.
Yeah.
I just know Margaret's name.
Mrs. Margaret. Mr. Margaret.
Yeah, there you go.
He's going to be there as well. This is really great. And when you go to the library, now if you said, I can't remember anything you said, you get one of these nice little brochures.
Oh, yeah.
The calendar of events, which is very well done. It's multi-pages, and it's got everything we talked about listed in there. Now, I picked up the latest one for December.
Yep. And January is actually not out yet, but it will be soon.
Oh, I'm glad then, because I was there the other day, and I said, how stupid am I didn't pick it up?
No, you didn't miss anything. Not yet.
I may be stupid, but that's not the reason why.
No.
But this has everything in it, the story times, programs, resources, events. Also, you can go online.
That's right, racinelibrary.info, or if you want to go right to the calendar, it's racinelibrary.info/calendar.
Or you can do what I do, have them just email you the information.
You can go to racinelibrary.info/newsletter and sign up for our email mailing list, and we'll send you every single week a preview of what the next week of programs, events, updates all look like.
I got to tell you something. I am so glad I called the Racine Public Library to be in here on a regular basis because I learned a lot. And I
learned a lot too, evidently.
You're going to about did you know Gene Autry owned the California Angels and why he wrote that? Did you know Eartha Kitt had a flop with Santa Baby? Did you know? You find out all these things. You think you learn stuff at the library. Coming to the radio station, you really learn stuff. And I hope you can have more people coming in.
Yeah, we will.
Does anybody say, I don't want to be on the radio? Do you get those people?
So we do have a couple of people who just, they're very comfortable doing what they do. Like they like working with patrons on the desk. They like doing their work like throughout the staff area of the library, but public speaking is just not their thing, and that's okay.
And it's not, we don't, except for the quiz I give you. Did you know?
That was a real tough one.
But
I think I flunked.
I just wanted you to tell him it's just a conversation in the morning. You can bring your breakfast in if you want, as long as you share. You can bring oh, I didn't see that one over there. What's that?
Oh, that one's just water.
Man, you get enough liquid.
I like to have 2 to 3 drinks on me at all times.
My goodness, you got a little cafe going on here in the morning.
know.
Although I shouldn't really I bring a bottle of water in
If you bring
every
a
day.
shot glass, I'll pour you a little glass.
Former Mayor John Dickert was in here, and
Okay.
he deals a lot with water now. And he saw me drinking this. He said, "You should be drinking tap water."
Really?
He said, "Yeah." He said, "And don't." So my wife goes to Rustic Springs in Kenosha, and she fills up from that tap they have there, and she runs through the Brita filter. He says, "Don't run it through the Brita filter.
No?
Don't do that. No, he said, don't
But
do
it
that.
tastes better.
No, then you're taking all the good stuff out of it." He says, "Shay King, you have a happy Merry Christmas
You
and a Happy
too.
New Year, and I'll see you guys in the new year." Well, coming up, we're talking high school sports with one of the people, the head of the WIAA here in Wisconsin. In just a moment at WRJN Radio, Hometown Radio Refresh, Civic Media. Cloudy today with a high near 43. Chance of rain tonight, lows around 39. Rain likely tomorrow, highs near 45. Right now, the sun is out, 37 degrees. Not bad. Stay where you are.